welcome to Making Awesome Chapter 28. My name's Grant. We got a special guest, Peter, and we got
Hello.
Thomas. Peter, before we get too far, tell us a little bit about yourself, and then we're going to hit the billing department.
So Grant brought me on not too terribly long ago to help with the editing of the YouTube videos, along with some copywriting work. And
Subscribe.
if you don't know who edits the videos, now you know because it's me. And I've been doing content creation type stuff for a few years now. I stream on Twitch. I used to do a lot of YouTube stuff, not so much anymore. And here I am.
Well, I guess you are
That's the
doing
short
more
and
YouTube
simple.
stuff now, but a little bit different, huh?
Right. Yeah.
Thomas, since we gave Peter an intro, why don't you go too, buddy?
Hey guys, it's me, Thomas. I manage the brand at 3D Musketeers. So anything that's made for 3D Musketeers, which used to be all me making everything, now anything made by anyone else goes through me to check for brand. And I made the logo, and I'm a freelance designer and animator, and that's kind of my big old jam. And also I work as a printmaker. So that's kind of my physical making side of things is like on letter presses and screen printing and stuff like that.
You're the brand czar.
Basically.
That's what I'm going
Yeah.
with.
100%. Yeah.
And of course, you all probably know me by now, whether it's because you've seen my rants about Cricut and said, this guy's a little crazy, but we kind of like his attitude, or maybe you've been hanging out on our channel long enough to know who we are. But my name's Grant. I own this craziness of 3D Musketeers, and hey, we're happy to have you. And speaking of 3D Musketeers, this episode is brought to you by 3D Musketeers, where we help you get your ideas out of your head and into your hands, because who the hell wants the ghost of Billy Mays talking about their product on late night television? Not this guy, and probably not you either. So if you have anything that you want to take from art to part, links are in the description. Hit us up. And oh yeah, go check out all of our new YouTube content that we have. We now have a dedicated podcast channel, which I'm guessing you maybe have found if you're watching this. But if you're listening, we're going to have links to all those new channels in the description for you to take a look at. We would love it if we could earn your subscription. Anyways, this chapter is all about the post-mortem of Cricut and maker pitfalls, since we did cover that in a previous episode a little bit. But now that we have so many new makers coming into the channel, I mean, literally, our channel went from 50 subs to over 700 in 7 days. And honestly, I'm a little terrified. I should have a Grant's rant about what it looks like to see your YouTube channel grow that quick and be like, we gotta spend a bunch of money to make this work.
I really like the idea of trying to just picture that, because you could easily fit 50 people in a room, but you cannot easily fit 700 people in a room.
Not with social distancing, which you should be doing, because we want you to stay healthy.
Yeah, we can barely get all of our subscribers in an auditorium with social distancing right now. So that's
No
difficult.
chance.
Everybody put your hands out like an airplane.
Yeah.
And anyone who's on the edge or too close, get out!
You're fired! Then there's like a line of people trying to get in, which that's what we're trying to find, is where that line of people is, so we can bring you in and show you really cool stuff. But it's funny because maybe we do end up uploading this to the main channel too, but the idea was that we were going to segment the podcast into its own separate YouTube channel, so that if you were looking for podcast content, you could go check it out there, versus having to, go through the main channel. That way people that don't care about the podcast don't go to the podcast. But anyways, Cricut, holy shit.
Rest
Well,
in peace.
first of all, I would like to say, hey, Cricut, thank you, by the way, for the
subs.
content.
Yeah.
If you are interested, now that you are backpedaling, if you would like to sponsor us for the right amount of money, and also you also being more ethical, we will accept your sponsorship.
it will need to have quite a few zeros, and I will be allowed to say whatever the hell I want.
Send us. What I'm really trying to do is get Cricut to send us some crickets.
So we can fill
Preferably
it with
not
right?
the bug, but you know.
Right.
Look, I just
Yeah.
want like a pyramid of crickets, and I want to see what hijinks we can get into with a bunch of crickets.
But like, no, for real though, we do want to get a bunch of broken crickets, potentially for Tannerite reasons, but also to give them an autopsy to understand how and why they broke. Because if there's a way that we can take these cool machines back here and fix these broken crickets, we might be able to provide makers that have already accepted this ecosystem and ones that are going to continue to accept it after what could only be described as a absolute shit show of a PR disaster. Keep their machines up and running, because ultimately these people are running businesses. I'm putting air quotes on that because a lot of them
Some are
don't know how to
hobbyists
price
and
their
stuff.
products.
Here's a thing that I was thinking about that gives me the willies, and my willies are coming from their PR team and their marketing people having a literal panic attack.
Oh yeah.
Because, well, you know what the worst part to me is? I bet you, because like, you know, it's like they're all the same heads of the Hydra, you know, but they're arguing with each other and kind of like getting tangled up. This is the worst, because you know that the marketing team knew this was coming, and you also know that the marketing team, being in touch with their community and being in touch with the people who actually work on these things, because they have to for targeting and business reasons, like they know all of this.
They have
and sometimes they may be users themselves, probably. You know they saw this coming, and that many of them said, this is bullshit, but they couldn't do anything because, or they could have suggested things, but obviously nothing went through. And then everything went bad. And now they're pulling their hair out and saying, see?
You effed up and now we gotta deal with it.
Yeah, but they're just
More or
like,
less.
guys, like, oh my God. Like, I doubt there was a PR or marketing person. And if you are one and you want to be anonymous and send us a DM, please do.
Yeah, honestly.
I am very deeply curious as to what the internal situation was with Cricut at the time, because I am sure there were people speaking up, but they were silenced by the business people who wanted a ton of money.
See, isn't this why you're glad that, you know, you work with a business owner that isn't that much of an asshole? And I am certainly not gonna say that I am right at all times, because I certainly make a lot of poor decisions, like saying that we should use a pair of shorts for the shorts channel. That was vetoed very quickly. But, you know, I like to believe I at least listen to the people around me and say, okay, let's figure out why we have this problem. And, I mean, there had to have been somebody in that marketing meeting that says, why are we going to alienate our entire base? And I have a feeling they were standing in the unemployment line before any of this even went down. Because C-suite people said, we are going for an IPO. We don't give a damn about the makers. We only care about the money. And I get it. You want your money, but it's never about the money. It's about sending a message. And that's what the makers did. They sent their freaking message. I don't do a good Joker. I'm sorry. I do a much better Hank Hill. And Hank Hill did not burn a pile of money.
Oh, I did not. Gonna say, Grant.
Nope, did not connect.
Well, you know, Heath Ledger, I can't even try. And you know what? Fine. Swing and a miss, but at least I took the damn shot, okay?
So did Cricket.
It was Wayne Gretzky, right? You know, if you swing and you miss, you'll land in the stars or something.
That's
Wayne
exactly
Gretzky.
what Wayne Gretzky said.
And I think Cricket, this was like a desperate attempt for money that fell flat. And it's funny because there were, and I'm going to say a few, because I could probably count it on my hands, how many people said, we don't care, we were paying for it already. And I think they were banking on that, and I think they were banking on the fact that even if people were going to be pissed off, they were just going to go with it and say, well, I can't just throw it away. I already spent the money on it. I might as well just pay for the subscription until the thing dies. And that's all Cricut needed. They only needed that money for their IPO, because what they're doing is they're trying to create golden parachutes for themselves. As soon as that stock goes live at valued way more than they know it's worth, they're going to dump their stocks, theoretically, at a good value and make off with their own private islands, which, okay, yeah, there's a part of capitalism that says F the consumers, make money, but that doesn't work in a digital age like this.
Well,
where
you
people
kind of also got to be like, late game capitalism. You know, you already won basically at that point.
That's
you know,
fair.
You can't pull that stunt.
And it's got to be big businesses, right? If you were working with a multi-million-dollar business and you said, hey, remember that software you've been using for free is now going to cost you $100 a month? They are not going to adopt a new thing. They're going to pay the $100 a month because it doesn't matter for them. It is a tax write-off. But for these smaller makers, dude, $10 a month or $100 a year, that is a non-trivial amount of money. That's more than Netflix, isn't it? Do I want to use my Cricut, or do I want to watch Breaking Bad? Tell me, because I don't.
You know, so have Cricut's competitors said anything about this, or are they like capitalizing on this stuff super hard? They should be.
I think you mentioned this in one of the follow-up videos, Grant, and I don't know if
yet.
I don't know if I left it in the cut or not. Or maybe you mentioned it on
the long format one
from
and the
Sewing Report.
One we didn't.
Yeah, but I think you also mentioned this when you were on stream with Jen from Sewing Report.
Yep.
Is that both the Brother and Silhouette have recently kind of put onto their kind of marketing for their machines is free software, or, you know, free software for life, which is, you know, that nasty dig that they're like, haha, sucks to suck, Cricut.
They're basically saying vinyl cutter, not a Cricut.
Yeah. So it used to be prevalent on Brother's website. When you went to their website, boom, that was it. It's not there anymore. Actually, their header looks like garbage, if you're asking me, because it's like half cut through some text. But about halfway down, it does say free online editor called Canvas Workspace. And Silhouette from day one has always had a free software, but they also have paid upgrades that allow you to unlock other features. And I think the big deal here is, they're offering 50% off all their designs. That ends today. So 1 week after all the Cricut stuff happened. I guess they probably ran a thing. But Silhouette says if you just want to do it for fun, you can use the free software. It's going to be fine. But if you're looking to run multiple machines, you need to upgrade to this. And because it was all there from the beginning, when, you know, you're going to purchase it, you know what you're getting yourself into. And I think that's what pissed everybody off. Was I went into this understanding that this was going to cost me nothing more than consumables, maybe some parts for the machine, and really that's about it. And all of a sudden Cricut's like, so no. And this whole idea of having it online, where it's a, you know, DRM controlled, and you have to upload all your stuff to their servers, going through an end user license agreement that nobody read, that we really should do a video on.
So
add that
with
to the
that
motion.
With that whole, has their software always been online like that?
Yes.
Because
in the beginning, no. In the beginning,
Okay.
no. They used a variant called Mr. Scan and Cut, or Mr. something. It was a Mr. Cut software that ultimately they branded as their own. It forked, and now that's the software being used for US Cutter. It's kind of weird. I learned a little bit about it. It didn't make sense for it to be a video because it is... If it is too technical for me, I don't think that our viewership was going to care about it, you know?
So you can't have like an onboard, you can't have like a locally launching
Correct.
app.
Yeah, it is all to use it. You must be connected to the internet. You must be using their software. You can also do it from your phone, but you have limited opportunities from the phone.
See, that's insane to me. That's so limiting. I mean, even with something like the Adobe Creative Cloud, which you need to be online to sign into, if you're signed in and you were signed in and you have no internet and you go offline, you can still use all of those applications completely because they're on your computer and they'll talk to your machines or they'll talk to a print. They'll do all those things and then you have full functionality without internet. And it's crazy to me that any company would make it so that, like, say you are a business and you're running multiple Cricuts to get a bunch of vinyl stickers or, whatever vinyl you need out.
There's a viable business model there for sure. 100%.
And your internet goes out.
Yeah,
and so what? Now your machine is just a brick? You can't do anything?
I'm not 100% sure. I know that the software requires an active internet connection because you must upload it to the cloud, and then the Cricut grabs it from the cloud and cuts it. So theoretically, if it's the exact same thing all the time, you might be able to just run the files off the Cricut, but this is where I say I don't own one. It would be a lot of fun, I think, to kind of dissect one, and I would love to do an equipment autopsy. I think that'd be a really cool video for the main channel, just autopsying even a working one to understand where corners were cut, because honestly, $180 for something that you can turn into a viable ish small business. You're not going to compete with the big vinyl cutting guys. You're just not able to, because Cricuts are limited to a certain width, and that's always where these cutters draw the lines, right? The price is all about the width, or about how many cutter heads you can have running at the same time. So yes, most of these companies that do these types of cutters are size queens, but Silhouette for like $500 has a 24-inch wide that can run a 60-foot roll. I mean,
yeah,
honestly,
that thing is insane.
That's not bad. And US Cutter, which in the video I said the software might be a little janky, and I heard from users that I talked to after we filmed the video that said, yeah, it's a little janky, but similar to how Chinese laser cutters are, you get used to it. And they said these machines are so powerful, and when they break, they were $400. You just don't care. You throw it out and you buy a new one. You don't even try to fix it. It's like I understand why Cricut made these things so cheap, because they wanted, all of this to be as affordable as possible. And good Lord, they could not have one more in COVID, with so many people being furloughed, trying to find ways to make money. And what are they going to do? They might walk around Walmart, as you do in small town America, because that's what, look, don't judge me. Maybe they'll see a Cricut display and say, I could do that. And with the way that Cricut really integrated all their channels to sell materials, you can go to Walmart and buy a jump drive with freaking designs on it that you can load into your Cricut, and boom, you have designs. And that's just cool. And nobody else really has that. Yeah,
they make it. I mean, that's the key to their success. Yeah. Up to this point was the accessibility. Anybody could pick one up and start, making stickers. Or I knew somebody that had one that made custom greeting cards, or happy birthday stuff, just custom cards or stuff like that. Something you could do with this kind of cutter. It's super easy to start using.
Yeah, totally easy.
With more advanced stuff, there might be a bit of a learning curve. But Cricut made it so simple. And I think that was the key, until they're like, all right, simpletons, how about you give us money to use it, though? And that's where they crossed the line.
That would be ideal. Yeah.
We had I had access to a Cricut in school. I know we had one for vinyl cutting stuff and other, whatever. But yeah, so I guess now I'm kind of thinking, like, how much is this realistically going to impact Cricut long term now that they've mega backpedaled on themselves?
Right now, probably not a whole lot, but I don't see them doing any. I don't see a lot of their customers buying one of their machines again, right? But they already got their pound of flesh from them. So as far as Cricut's concerned, that money's gone, right? And other than the users buying blades and buying vinyl, but who the hell's gonna buy Cricut branded vinyl when you can just go get it from other companies for way less? I have a hard time seeing that this is going to hurt Cricut a lot when it's going to matter. And when is it going to matter? At their IPO, right? I believe this is going to be problematic for them because they're going to see a user base fall, but it's going to happen very gradually where it's almost very natural in that sense, right? To where it's, okay, this is what we do. This is what we're expecting. People come in, people go out, and ostensibly Cricut has the best marketing, right? When you look at vinyl cutters and you're like, who makes a vinyl cutter? Do you know Silhouette? Do you know Brother? Brother makes printers. I have a Brother thermal printer. Brother, in my head, didn't make vinyl cutters, right? And the only other vinyl cutters that I knew other than Cricut's were the US cutters and the weird Chinese rebrands on Amazon. So, yeah, is it gonna hurt them?
I mean, clearly their presence is far better than anyone else who makes a vinyl cutter in the US.
Right. Sorry.
Because they're almost, because of their price and everything, like the only ones for a...
Well, right. And I think this is going to hurt them, in the here and now, because they got a lot of this bad media coverage for them.
Yeah.
So I think they're definitely going to see a drop in sales, at least for the next month or two. But, down the road, when this is kind of blown over because they've backpedaled this far, I don't think it's going to necessarily hurt them in the long term.
I'm going to be curious to see the people that are jumping ship or say they're jumping ship when their Cricut breaks. Are they actually going to jump ship? And if they do they stay jumped or do they end up coming back? And that's something that I'm not certain of just yet, because personally, unless Brother, Silhouette, or US Cutter really has a better software, I think they're gonna go back. And it's like, because you don't have many other options. So if you've been designing a cutter to compete
I was gonna
with
say,
Cricut,
if you're making a vinyl cutter right now,
yeah. And if you aren't and you've thought about it, you're too late. Honestly, unless you've got tons of money to throw at it. Once Cricut goes public, which is relatively imminent, I believe, things are going to go a little crazy. Because, yes, this was bad press, but ultimately what happened? Everybody was saying their name.
Yep.
Like, we picked it up. We're a 3D printing company. We don't own vinyl cutters. In the first video, I made it very clear. I pay some guy to do my vinyl cutting, and he's got his cutter's 54 inches. It's huge.
Ooh,
it's
mama.
huge. And he's great because I've known him for years. He did all the stickers when we had a retail shop to do the windows up. He did a great job, and it was really affordable. I'll give him a shout out. Carlos over at SSP Vinyl in Tampa. Great guy, great prices, and honestly, stellar customer service. And, it is... you've got this difference, right? You go into his shop and it's colors on colors on colors. He's got one medium-sized cutter, one big chungus, and I believe he's got it, but he was looking into doing the full color printing and then like the die or kiss cutting of the stickers themselves. And like, it's tough to compete with somebody like him unless you're going to compete on price.
Right. Well, and I'll be interested kind of circling back, like as far as the YouTube world, like there's a pretty hot market, I think, right now or in the coming weeks of like how to use Brother or how to use Silhouette software videos. Because of this, I feel like somebody could potentially
adding it to the Notion.
Right? Like that could be a huge market for somebody. It's like, great. All these people are kind of, off the Cricut train and they want to, continue their vinyl cutting hobby or business, whatever, but they don't know how to use the software. I feel like there's a huge potential to teach people.
Thing. That's the scariest freaking thing about any of this, right? When we're looking at buying 3D printers, it's not what can it do. My first question is, does it work with the software that we have, or are we locked in a certain software? And if we get locked in a certain software, I am way less likely to buy it. I will spend more money to get something that utilizes the software that I'm used to, because I don't want to have to learn more things, because it just adds more time to the system. And yeah, I mean, boy,
that comes back to the Cricut making it easy to use. People really, honestly, they support whatever is easiest and most convenient to use with their dollar.
Yep.
And you see that time and time again. When Amazon implemented the buy it now with one click option, they made so much money. I guarantee
Have you used
it.
that? I've never used it.
Yeah,
I've always been afraid it goes to the wrong
It's awesome.
address.
It's
I've
awesome.
used it. It makes me happy.
It that it's so easy, because whenever I try, like, I make a big purchase, I try to pay with cash so I can physically hold it, so I know how much money I'm like just about to, throw wherever.
That's a good money tip for all you
Yeah.
people out there. If you are looking to make a big purchase, be able to pay it in cash. If you want to put it on a credit card, fine, but never, ever, ever, if you can obviously afford it, take on credit card debt. Take it from someone that has learned the hard way. We paid off. It was $18,000 when we started, and it came out to almost $40,000 in credit card debt for 3D Musketeers. It was a nightmare to deal with. Sorry.
Yeah.
But that's
No,
great
you're
advice.
fine. But yeah, it's just like, if it's easy to use, it's gonna sell like crazy.
Yeah, and in looking at the alternatives, because we have Cricut alternative videos coming. Guess that means what's coming next on the editing cycle. But
Yeah.
I will say, just going through the websites, right? US Cutter sold on Amazon. They give you a link to go to their software. The link is terrible. The website looks like it was built in the 90s. Brother's website, really complicated to go through. It is clear that the vinyl cutter for Brother was completely a secondary thing. Like, oh, well, maybe we can compete with it. It's basically a 2D printer with a drag knife. And they're not wrong. That is basically what it is. But their website is definitely more designed for enterprise, and their machine is definitely not enterprise. And go ahead.
I was just saying, I mean, I'm looking at Silhouette right now.
Oh, their website's so beautiful, isn't it?
I love their website.
Yeah, no, it's not bad. I mean, their photography is really nice. Like,
that's what I was gonna say, because when I was editing our Cricut alternative video, hats off to whoever they hired for product photography, because they made it so easy.
Yep.
Not only to just rip the image from their website, but it looks so nice.
It does.
I feel like I'm sure you guys have talked about this. I haven't seen the rough or the raw of the alternatives video.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, just looking at this thing, it also looks kind of pretty. It looks like a fancy Apple product kind of idea. Yeah.
I like that when you go to Silhouette America, it's just a one-pager. It's got a little scroll thing that goes across some of the stuff you can do, but that's it. Like,
Grant, idea. Anyway, so Cricut, I just want to get this out in the air.
I'm really concerned, but okay.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Cricut. Go to hell. I don't want your sponsorship for 3DM. But Silhouette, if you're looking for
Brother.
influencer or Brother too, but Silhouette, really, if you are looking for
really Joe Prusa.
Yeah, but Prusa's always on the table, so we'll bring him up in a second. Oh, anyway, so this is Thomas's request for sponsorship ad break, mid-roll podcast. Silhouette, if you're looking for some flexible influencer marketing who hates your competition, we would love to bring your products on and make a ton of cool stuff. I'm a graphic designer. Send one to me. all go crazy with that thing.
I mean, and who
And
realistically grew their YouTube channel over 10x in 1 week? That sounds like something you'd want in an influencer. Let's not
Well,
worry
yeah.
about the numbers. Let's worry about that we grew our YouTube channel 10x in 1 week. Also, Silhouette, just get rid of the Alta. I don't
I was
want
gonna
to
say
see
that.
it. I don't like it. I cannot recommend it. If you're looking at the Alta, well, hold on. I think, see, past Grant's coming back saying, if it uses the same software, maybe, but I bet you're probably just using Cura because that's what everybody uses.
you guys don't like the alt.
But here's the thing, right?
Delta printer?
Like
Yeah.
Silhouette, if you do want to throw us some of your sweet products, including the Alta,
I'll give an honest
I'm
review
sure
of it.
Grant will
Honest
give you a very
review.
honest review, but we could do a really awesome like side by side comparison, like Alta versus Prusa, which is the better print.
Oh,
Well,
you know,
know-
they actually have their own Silhouette 3D software, but looking at a screenshot of it, which of course is on a Mac, Thomas,
Hell yeah. Well,
looks
that's actually an
very...
unbranded screen that looks like a Mac.
Okay, it's a Mac. We all know it's a Mac. Okay, we look, we don't have to sit here and pretend that it's not. But yes, I
So, that's my call out to you guys, and also I would, as usual, I will be calling out, Mr. Joseph Prusa, if you would be so kind to come down from the heavens and bestow upon us a non-trivial sum of money to advertise the printers that are literally sitting behind Grant, because they are really good.
I'll even take a trivial amount of money and an affiliate link because I can probably make a lot more money with an affiliate link.
Yeah, give us the link, or even, come on the podcast. Let's go. Whatever you want to do.
Have us on your
we're up for
podcast,
it.
Prusa Live.
Any
Sorry
of those
to interrupt.
Yeah.
would be great. But we love your printers. Let's
We really I
let's
love your
get
printer
together.
so much. I had you sign one. I waited 3.5 weeks extra to get it. And you can tell it looks a little bit different because I clear coated it because I didn't want your signature to be wiped off. Yeah, I clear coated the entire frame of the printer before we built it, and I did not get the right type of clear coat. It's a little bit too glossy, but whatever, we're rolling with it.
We like our shiny printers.
Yes, only
it's fine.
Shiny
it
things.
points out the fact that there's a silver Sharpie signature from Joseph Prusa, and I love everything about it.
So that's my thing. We'll be waiting for your call, mainly Silhouette. Again, would love. Let's go. It'll be fun.
And I think there are so many opportunities here because and part of me wishes like Silhouette had a Wendy's Twitter or Brother had a Wendy's Twitter where they were just making pot shots after pot shots, and it's like they wanted to be professional. I'm over here saying, go for the jugular, take him out. I want to see referee come in and do the 1, 2, 3 and tell him to ring that damn bell because that's it. It's over. Because I feel like Cricut kind of, they shot themselves in the foot with their first thing, and I guess we should go over what actually happened. They said, hey, by the way, thanks for using all of our software. We love it oh so much that you're using it, but we're going to limit you to 20 uploads to our cloud a month unless you pay $10 a month or $100 a year, starting on X day. I think it was at the end of the month that they were doing it. And, well, there are some designs that have more than 20 components to them that you need to upload simultaneously. And it's like, okay, well, I guess I have to do that overnight at the end of a month. And that's ridiculous, right? That's not a way to run a business. And so their goal was to say, all right, it's a try before you buy, very much a freemium atmosphere. And Maker said, hell no, because this is not what we signed up for, right? We signed up for a free and open software. We get that because it's free and open, that it kind of sucks. It doesn't do everything that we need it to do, but we're willing to deal with it because it's free and it's easy to use. And there was a lot of backlash from us included, right? We love those kind of hot topics where I can get pissed off and talk about something and like yell into the microphone to where we're fixing the microphone levels because I'm clipping it out. Those are fun. But
here's a quick. I would like to make a quick aside though. As
aside.
much, if we can keep Grant angry, and we need you guys to comment on things you want him angry about. Grant's anger, like the laughter, fuels the electricity in Monsters Inc. Fuels 3DM's growth on YouTube. So he needs to stay angry. So we are actually
passionate.
There's an open position actually right now for a goblin with a pitchfork to constantly poke Grant in the ass to make sure that he's at optimum levels of angry and disturbed at all times.
Thomas,
also,
and you only have to say one thing while you're poking him with said pitchfork, and every time you poke him, you just say "Bruce sucks, Bruce sucks,"
and he'll be.
That's prime anger, right?
We just need as much spite and vitriol as possible.
Vitriol, we're getting fancy up in here.
Yeah. Yep. Anything.
Do we have to like gate that part of the podcast, make people pay to hear words that nice? Because that's at least a nickel word right there. Then we'd be Cricut.
Yeah. We can't do that. Darn it! Dang it!
It blows my mind that they went with this middle ground rollback that I thought was honestly gonna go over well. That people are gonna be like, all right, fine, whatever. But no, people were still pissed. I was still pissed because, yeah, if I owned one of these machines, I'd be mad. But, like, and that's me as a maker, right? Me as a personal maker guy that also makes stuff for himself, you know, not just for money. He makes, like, great example that I need to actually reprint is my microphone stand mount. It's a little bit too small. You can actually see how it's bent. You see the white lines on it.
Mm-hmm.
That's where the material is yielding instead of actually bending the way it needs to. But a really cool way to rapid prototype. So we do things like that for ourselves. But if I was just doing this for me and maybe an Etsy store, yep, all of you have 3D prints. I know, it's so great. It warms my cold, dead heart. But none of you have made custom, this is an old revision, but none of you have made custom handles that basically glow because of how bright the lights are.
Heck?
It's because the lights are so bright.
Dang.
If anyone's interested, if I've got enough interest or if someone slaps me around enough internally at 3DM to do it, I did buy Crocs and I do need to make giblets for it. So I think we might do that. So that'll be my first custom. I will actually model those myself.
Just like upcoming videos about, a lot of you know that I have a back injury. I have 2 herniated discs. It happened in April of 2020. So there's going to be all these videos about how I am kind of utilizing 3D printing to make my disability a little bit easier to live with every single day, like custom handles for my cane. And then we're going to pimp out the cane. It's going to be a lot of fun because, you know, might as well... I don't know. If I'm gonna walk around with a cane and people are gonna stare at me funny, I might as well, you know, make certain that they actually see me.
Right. And if you have any custom 3D printing needs, go to our website and give us a call or contact us in some way, shape, or form, and we'd be happy to help you. Grant will be answering the phone.
Icy. It belongs on LTT.
That's what I'm saying. If you have 3D custom printing wants, needs, and desires, call Grant because neither myself or Thomas will pick up the phone.
Nope.
And he'll help you get you figured out. He'll hook you up with our designers and we'll 3D print it and ship it to you.
I actually said it for the next week and a half on one of the Cricut videos. I guess we're at about a week now. I will be the only person answering the phone. So if you call 3D Musketeers, you're going to get me personally. You're not going to get some shop person, lackey, whatever that's hanging out here. You're going to get to talk to me.
Or the goblin.
Well, maybe the cat will show up because the goblin, it is the cat. And she is absent. We
from the goblin stand. Yeah.
Yes. Well, we have reorganized the office here at 3D Musketeers, and we decided that we needed to get an on-brand cat bed, so that the supervisor can be here when she does deem that her supervision is necessary.
Yeah, the brand king approves of the on-brand chair. for the cat.
There you go.
I found it the other day, and I went to Amber, the Better Three Quarters. I'm like, oh my gosh, Thomas is gonna love it. I found an on-brand cat bed, and it's way
Also-
better than the other one that's diamonds, unicorns, and rainbows. That's a seafoam green exterior with a pink interior padded. So don't think you would have liked that one too much for the brand.
So you made that joke the other day in one of the videos, and I just barely caught it. Really, I think an underappreciated joke, because a lot of people say, you know, my better half when they're referring to their significant other.
The Better Three Quarters.
Hilarious that you say better three quarters. I love self-deprecating humor where you're like, I'm only worth, you know, 25% of any standard relationship.
If you met her, you'd know. I mean, she works in an ICU, in a COVID ICU nonetheless, and she's been doing it for many years now. So when COVID hit, what did she do? She stole all of my N95. She stole my ballistic rated face shield, and she went to work looking like somebody out of Mad Max. But you know what? She's got both her vaccinations. She has never been COVID positive, and damn it, I'm proud of her.
That's awesome.
She's
That's
not
so
here,
good.
so I can say these things without her texting me saying, why are you doing this? So, maybe you'll listen to it. Now I get to know whether or not you listen to the podcast.
Ooh.
I know. The people probably know where Grant's located, but that means she had to do all of that and stayed without COVID positive in Florida.
Yeah.
Of all places.
The address for the business is public. We're in Tampa.
I know. But people that came onto this podcast, and maybe they're just watching this one, may not.
We're in Tampa, Florida.
That, you know. Yeah. So that's double impressive.
Yep.
Triple, in fact, that she managed to do that.
Unfortunately, she missed the cutoff to go to the Super Bowl by like 4 days. They were giving away tickets to the Super Bowl if you were fully vaccinated. And neither of us are big football fans, but what the hell? Why wouldn't you do it if you have the opportunity, right?
Yeah, that'd be fun.
And it's funny because we're calling this the Cricut post-mortem, and we're talking about an ICU nurse. That would have been funny if we could have brought her in and talked about all the things that they tried to do. You know, because, like, what's the first thing you do? It's chest compressions, chest compressions, chest compressions. And what did Cricut do? They tried to shock them. That's not what you do. If you don't have a rhythm, you don't shock. And the one thing of dating a nurse that has taught me is that television shows for medical I'm going to hate for the rest of my life. And every time that I watch something where chest compressions are just like this and not where it looks like they're trying to grab the person's spine from inside of their body, I just have to text her every time it happens.
So true. My fiance is in nursing school, and she said that more often than not, you should be pushing hard enough to break their ribs.
Yes, that is correct.
And I was like, oh my God, that's scary.
Yeah, and she'll tell me like, oh, I was coding for 15 minutes today. That means she is doing chest compressions for 15 minutes. Now, sometimes you get rotations where it's like 2 minutes per person, but for COVID rooms, you don't.
It's one-on-one.
Sometimes you're lucky and there's other people that are still like gowned and masked up and they can run in, but you got to be really careful of that. I'm like, damn, I don't want to mess with her. I don't mess with her, but I don't want to mess with her because she'll kick my ass. And then she'll bring me back to life just so she can kick my ass again.
The
double tap.
I know we call this like Cricut post-mortem, though we did discuss how this is probably going to long-term business situation. They'll most likely, continue to operate.
They will.
I mean, I think that's clear, but
they're not going
this does serve from a marketing standpoint and from a business standpoint. This was like a beautiful example of accountability, and everyone, saying that's not okay. And it worked. They backpedaled.
Yeah.
There was pushback. Everyone was like no.
4 days later, they find, and I feel like it was very much a shit. Damn it, Johnson was actually right. We shouldn't have thrown him out of the building. He was right. And, well, he's in the unemployment line now, so it really doesn't matter, but I guess we have to give them something.
So, hopefully, when companies are getting super money grubby that happen to support the maker community later on, this will be something that is at least brought up in the meeting. So now Johnson, who's now working for other company that makes a product for makers, will now take
Don't be this guy. Don't be
the
this
case
guy.
study and slap it on the table and say, look what happened last time.
Yeah, and it's like, out of all the things to try to screw, don't screw the people that are relying on your products for their sole source of income, or relying on your products to make friends. Because look, there's all communities about these.
Yeah,
well, I was going to say,
things.
this
I
is
mean,
even
Jen from
a
Sewing
really
Report. Amazing.
Yeah, this is a really rough community to screw around with, because also, I mean, a lot of these communities now, more and more, like Jen from Sewing Report, and I mean, other like YouTubers and things like that, you know, these are all influencers that are sitting and kind of curating a community that is around these different things. And like,
Oh yeah,
I think a huge community that got behind this whole Cricut thing was cosplay community.
totally.
And that's a gigantic community for like everything that is all of the like 3D printing and even CNC and
Don't
laser
piss off
cutting.
cosplayers.
All of those. Do not screw with cosplayers, because that's a community that is gigantic. And they are maker extraordinaires, because they go from like electronics all the way to animatronics to, you know, additive manufacturing. They do all of it. And they don't just do all of it, but they film it, and they have communities that are tight knit and also just
and then
big.
You know, outside of COVID, obviously, they take these elaborate cosplays to conventions,
and they show them off.
and they win contests.
It's
and
a
they're,
social,
you know, it's huge.
Yeah, it's a huge social thing, and you've got all these influencers. So you just directly, in the Cricut situation, you directly looked at this base of customers and you said, wow, look at all these incredibly influential people that at the same time, it's the same thing with like Let's Plays, when they, you know, forever ago, when they observed that, oh my God, sales for certain games go up because blank played it. Now it's, holy cow, you know, when someone asks in like a Reddit AMA and they say, oh, cosplayer, what do you use when you're making vinyl decals for your guns or your whatever in your cosplay?
Your
and they say
prop
Cricut
blasters, sir.
Yeah, you just sold a Cricut, and even without sponsorship or whatever, because Cricut's like, what is it safe to say it's the most popular vinyl cutter in the US? Is that safe?
I would say that it's safe, yes.
At least was. I mean, or very popular. So the moment that you take that, and these influencers a lot of the time have more of a following and have more influence on the customers you're trying to reach than your company does. So the fact that you would screw the people that are effectively doing your advertising for you, because you're not giving them any special benefits, because you know they didn't reach out to any of those people to say you're exempt, you're screwed. Like, it's just insane to me. I'm telling you, they just did not listen to people when they suggested that they do not do this.
Yeah.
They definitely didn't, and I hope that somebody internally from Cricut, and if they reach out to us, that'd be so cool.
Please
but
do.
that they speak out and say, you know, we said this. It's this guy or this girl or whoever it is that ultimately said, we don't think you're right. And, you know, as a business owner, there have been times where I go to the team and say, you know, I disagree. And I don't like playing the card, but I am the owner and I'm going to play that card. I think it's happened maybe twice in the past 5 years. It doesn't happen often because ultimately the goal of everybody on this team of 3D Musketeers is that we all understand that we have a common goal, and it's to help people make awesome and, you know, make a little money at the same time, right? If we can come out helping you make something really cool and have a little bit of extra money in our pockets, look, we ain't trying to have filet mignon every night, but some ground beef would be pretty good, and I don't want it off my own ass after you've been chewing it out for the past 3 hours. You know, we want to keep you happy. We want to make sure that you're getting value. And when the team disagrees, there's a good reason for it, and that's why we listen to them. The fact that Cricut said we know better and just didn't listen to, I'm sure, an upteen number of people is frustrating to me because it says if they did this now, and by the way, they've completely backpedaled. They're saying it's going to be free forever, which so many of us now have a screenshot of that for when they ultimately don't do it. Because you know what's going to happen, right?
They're going to expect people to forget about it.
No, they're not going to do that. No.
They're hoping. They're praying that everybody will forget this ever happened.
Mark my words, because this is my bet. If we want to put $1 on it, gentlemen, we can put $1 on it. We can put a handshake. We can put, I don't know, a pizza on it. Although that...
I'm putting a pizza on it then. You got me,
apparently
Grant.
That's 3 meals for Peter over here. Okay,
yeah.
So...
I'll
no one said how big the pizza had to be.
I'll bet one large 2-topping pizza
From
on
who?
whatever you're about to say. That's my wager.
I don't even know if I'm betting for or against it yet. I
don't know either. I just know how much I'm willing to sacrifice.
I believe that Cricut is going to launch a new software, and it is going to be paid only, and it's going to come out with the launch of a new product. And that is the only way that new product works. It will be backwards compatible with the older products, and they are going to completely snail pace their new software development on the free side, basically forcing you to go to paid, and you're going to do it handily because you knew that you had to do it to get this. And they're going to pull the wool out from under people, and they're going to get away with it. I mark my words, it's going to happen. I'm going to bet a pizza on it.
I mean,
unfortunately,
I feel like
nobody
so
in this
my
chat's
pizza
going to
won't.
disagree.
My pizza's not going to go anywhere.
See, that's the problem. I can't disagree with you. But however, Domino's, if you would like to sponsor us and get in on this pizza bet,
Domino's,
Grant,
I'm
not even going to get
print
into this argument with you right now. I will not be having this argument now. That's for the next podcast. Pizza
No, but
Wars,
I don't like changing. I want to go to a family-run shop. They probably couldn't afford us. All right, screw it. Domino's. I'm in.
Domino's.
I know we've 3D printed a cake in the past. So can we 3D print a pizza?
You clearly have not watched the content from the Stratasys trailer visit because
I have
yes,
not.
You can, and it was in full color. And honestly, from 2 or 3 feet away, I was getting pretty hungry. I'm just gonna put that out there.
All right.
Yes, Stratasys brought their 40-foot trailer through, and I was left unattended in it for 2 hours. There's gonna be a lot of cool content about me talking about all of these cool machines and showing you some parts that cost more than everything that we own here at 3D Musketeers. To give you an idea, the part alone was worth over $100,000. And they just left me with it. They didn't care. Like, hey, yeah, film whatever video you want. We'll be outside in the hot, terrible Florida sun while I was inside in the nice, cool, air-conditioned trailer around machines that we can only hope to have in the background of my video one day when they become affordable. But yeah, cool.
That's the
anyway, Stratasys, we do have a video that has you featured in it. So if you'd like to help us afford those machines that are unaffordable, we are also accepting sponsorship. Grant, we cannot be picky. We are trying to grow. Okay.
But we just talked about ethics, and now we're talking about Stratasys.
Grant. We're trying to get Domino's, and I don't even know if they're ethical. I don't know anything about them.
It's not Papa John's, so I think we're okay.
I'm just doing my best here, Grant. I'm grasping at anything. I want a sponsorship so bad.
It's true. I would love a sponsorship.
I just think it would be fun.
But you know how
Prusa.
we can get a sponsorship though? By asking the viewers to help us out. If you like this podcast, share it. Make sure you give us 5 stars on Apple if you are someone that, doesn't love actually being a power user. And I don't blame you. It's fine. You like the Cricut ecosystem. It's okay. But we want you to help spread the word about what we're doing. And we would love for you to tell us what you want us to talk about, because we can't launch videos like this on the main channel. Nobody's ever going to watch them all the way through. That we have to have more short form content there, but we love to do these ones where it's like an extended version of Grant being pissed off at something for an hour. But
Exactly.
we need your help to get to that point so that we can afford to do these all the damn time. And you know, it's funny because we put Cricut Postmortem and Maker Pitfalls, and we mentioned a few Maker Pitfalls in there, but let's talk about some of the really basic ones real quick, right? I think the big one that a lot of Cricut owners and a lot of vinyl cutting owners need to understand, I'm talking to you Etsy store owners out there, price your product. I clipped the microphone. I don't care. Price your product and price it accordingly. This is not a suicidal race to the bottom, people. You can only work so hard for so little money before you get burned out. And spoiler, damn it, spoiler.
I'll do it, Grant. I'll take the rest of it from here. Spoiler alert.
Thank you.
That's not as long as you think.
It's not as long as you think. And if you guys want to see it, I am totally cool doing a video about burnout and what it means and what it looks like. We're going to have a freaking psychologist on this podcast coming very soon to talk about what burnout is, but and how to avoid it. But hearing it from a business owner who has dealt with some pretty serious burnout where you've worked for so long, you ended up with stitches. Yeah, there are fun stories involved in all of these things.
Here's my super fast advice.
Super fast
Don't think when you're pricing a product, like I price design stuff, right? And here's how you should think about it. You know, you have material costs and you have the costs of, let's say you are starting, let's do vinyl, because that's what we've been talking about this whole time. You're starting vinyl cutting business. So you go over and you buy a silhouette, obviously.
Hell yeah.
And you take
Hashtag
the price
not
of
sponsored.
now this silhouette, and then you price out the vinyl so you know how much stuff you have.
Yep.
Then you need to please every single time, if it takes you a bit to understand or get used to it, price your time.
Yes.
Because your time is so valuable. And that's really what people are paying for when they buy your product. You want to break even on material, but where you're going to make the money.
Whoa.
What?
You don't break even on shit. You want to make money every step of the process.
Well,
10%.
sure, but I'm saying, like, make sure that your time is being, like, even if you have to at the start, which is something that I did, you know, like, really time yourself out when you're doing tasks a lot of the time, and I still do it a lot of the time as well. But if you're like selling a product, it helps you to kind of time out how long it took to do all that, and then percent increase that so that you're making a profit that you're comfortable with. Because if your product is quality and you like it, other people will like it too. Obviously, don't go crazy, but be good to yourself, because that's a lot of work.
You got it.
Like, yeah, that's, you know, and don't just price out the time. Another huge thing I learned being a freelance designer, do not price out your time just working on that product, because chances are your time is also uploading that to Etsy, writing descriptions in Etsy, working on a profile, even advertising your product, even if it's to friends, even if it's just on Facebook, even any of that stuff is valuable time that you're spending on this thing. So don't limit it. Really take the time to think about, how much time did I invest in putting this entire thing together? And that's where your base price should come from on your products. Your time is so valuable as a person who's making things. Please pay yourselves.
Yes, and pay yourselves a reasonable rate. Okay, that's really the big deal. The big deal is paying yourself a reasonable rate. If you think a reasonable rate is $5 an hour, it is not. Raise it. Think about what you could make if you went out and got a day job right now, and that is the minimum that you should be charging for your time. And look, we all know you spend how much time weeding all those little pieces out before you can send off that vinyl or whatever it is you're making. That is all time that you need to be figuring out, and it's tough because you don't know from the beginning. So like what Thomas said, time yourself, take an average and say, well, you know, I know this one would take this long. This one's a little bit more complicated. Okay, tack an extra $5 to it, be done. Right? Really, really simple.
Yeah, and that's also minimum, because a lot of the time, at least with like freelance design, as far as that's concerned, You want to pay yourself more in that moment because you're not always going to be doing all of that work.
Yep.
So charge yourself a little more than you think, or, pay yourself a little more than you think you should, because you're going to have downtime, and it's certainly not going to make up for what a 40-hour work week is. There's just no way. So be kind to yourself, be generous with it, and it will come. Just, crush it. Be really nice to yourself.
It's true. And part of it is also, building that mindset of, this is what I'm going to do. This is what I want to do. And yes, you are not likely going to make money immediately. It is going to take time, a lot of time. But if this is your side hustle, you've clearly said, I've got time. And if it's your full-time hustle, you got time. And you got to invest in yourself, and that is investing in good machines, like a Silhouette, like a US Cutter, like something larger, right? Buy the biggest machine you can afford, because the smaller machines you buy, the less opportunities you will have. And if that means you start with a smaller machine and you have an upgrade path to get to something better, do it, but stick to your guns. I mean, even with 3DM being hurt so badly by COVID, right? We were decimated by COVID. We still did everything we could to grow our team, grow our brand. I mean, good Lord, we brought on Thomas way too late in the game, but he's here and we're working on it. We just got Peter on, and do you guys want to talk about your relationship? Did we talk about that earlier? I guess
we're twins.
Didn't. They're twins. Yes. So
Peter and I are business partners strictly.
Yeah.
You're just business partners strictly?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I believe your mom is going to have something else to say about that, but sure. Yeah.
She would say that we're business partners.
Yeah.
Yes, because that is what we are. Out of the womb, business partners. Handshake, cash, cold
I
hard
think just
cash.
to tack on one more thing to the pitfall discussion is, don't be afraid to use your connections and resources around you. That's kind of how I got brought on board. That's how Thomas was brought on board to 3DM.
Yep.
So
it's just freaking late. I'm still mad at Tad. Still mad at Tad for that.
It still worked, right?
Totally.
Use the people that you know, and if you don't have anybody specifically that can help, maybe they know somebody. Especially if you're just starting a business, I think it's wildly important to use the people around you to help kind of support that foundation, because the stronger you start, the stronger you're going to grow.
Yeah, for sure. It's not about what you know. It is absolutely who you know. And if you are out there saying, I could probably help them, reach out. The worst we can say is no, right?
Right.
I mean,
and
literally...
if you are a very good salesperson,
oh God, yes,
reach
please.
out. We would love for you to sell our stuff.
It's
in
true.
Every possible way.
That is also true. Yes, very true. Yeah, we are in need of people for sales and business development currently. We are offering incredibly competitive compensation packages for sales that involve a pretty hefty commission, because, well, you can make decent money on a salary, but you can make a lot more money on commission. That's what I learned in my sales games. But, 3D Musketeers is constantly growing. And whether or not we grew between 2019 and 2020 by value is irrelevant. What we did is we grew our company with people. Because, again, it's not about what you know. It is about who you know. And understand that you don't know everything. You don't know everything.
And that's okay.
It's totally okay. I can't video edit to save my life. That's why we have Peter. That's why we have Thomas. That's, that's what they're here for. I can't do branding. That's clear. And if you want to see what it's like when I try to do branding, start at episode 1 of this podcast. Because, oh boy, it's a nightmare. And, I mean, look at the old brand of the company. Use the Wayback Machine. Go find the old versions of 3D Musketeers. You're going to see it's a little crazy. New website coming soon, by the way, now that we say it. But, I guess I'm thankful. I'm thankful to have a great team to have a system that is growing that maybe we'll be able to turn into an extra source of income. That would be awesome, especially when it's not all that busy right now. We've got a couple of big projects, but otherwise it's not all that busy. You know, we are working toward growing this company, and to do that, you got to diversify. So we're so glad that all of you have joined us, likely from the Cricut debacle. Let's be frank, the channel grew because of Cricut. Thanks, Cricut.
Thanks,
I am
Cricut.
not owing you a dime.
However, Silhouette.
Hit us up. What's up? What does that mean where he's with the girl and he's looking at the other girl, right? We're with
That's a good
Cricut, but
meme.
we're looking at Silhouette, right? That's what it is. And we ain't with any of them. We're in an open relationship with money. Oh, is that what I say now? We're an open relationship with money.
That
No.
quote's gonna somehow, I don't know when or where.
Is it going to
is
hurt
gonna
me
come
or is it
back.
going to be good? That's the question.
Both. I mean, hurt good.
Depending on the
maybe.
timing. Yeah.
It's not.
Yeah.
Look, it's not as bad as trying to screw my entire user base and then just
No.
giving a complete bullshit backpedal and then basically saying, you know, you're right. JK, everything's cool, right? No, Cricut, everything's not cool. You pissed me off, and maybe I've got a short fuse lately. I'm not gonna deny that. It's been tough. But you pissed me off because you're pissing off makers. And ultimately, that's why we named this podcast Making Awesome, because it's all about makers and making awesome. No matter what your awesome is, it's awesome. And, well, we want to tell your story. So if you want to make awesome and do it with really cool machines like 3D printing, CNC milling, and laser cutting, you can reach out to 3D Musketeers in the links in the description. And we hope that if you've gotten this far, maybe we've earned your subscription, right? We want you to smash that subscribe button. I guess that's the thing the big YouTubers say now. Like, just
Smash
hit it. I gotta
Ring
get
the
like,
goddamn bell.
yes, the bell. Hit the bell. I gotta make
Share
some
it to
sugar
your grandma
glass.
on Facebook.
I gotta make
Yeah.
sugar glass so I can smash it over my head every time we say it. That would be.
God, that'd be
that's how we get
such
ants.
a good gag.
That's how we get ants, though. But it would be a great gag.
Grant, sugar glass, hear me out, shape of a subscribe button. I then want you to make a stencil, because I know you have all the things to do this, and then I want you to appropriately paint it to look like a subscribe button, and I want you to smash that subscribe button, because if we had one clip of that was good, we could use that everywhere, all the time.
Oh yeah.
Like
Yeah.
taking a sledgehammer. I have a sledge axe, which has an axe head on one side and a sledgehammer head on the other.
I was already sold. You don't have to sell any harder.
Okay.
Yeah, you could destroy this as many ways as you want. I want
Yeah.
your head through it. I want a shotgun to blow this up. I
whoa,
want
whoa! YouTube's not
everything.
firearm friendly, okay?
just
That'll
say,
be just for internal use.
say that you hit it with a slingshot, but you
With
just
lots of
shell
BBs.
it. Well, we can just cut it cleverly. It'll be like you with a
Yes.
slingshot.
It was number
And then
8
it'll just-
slingshot BBs.
It'll
Yeah,
just be
yeah,
a shotgun blast on the other end.
We
of
could
the cut.
3D print it. We should totally.
I smashed
We
this
should-
subscribe
we
button with
should
my
time
12 gauge
lapse.
slingshot.
What
Yeah.
are we doing? We should time. That should be the next Time Lapse Tuesday. A subscribe button, and that can be our social media
Yes,
push for the
absolutely.
new YouTube channels.
Send it right now.
Boom!
Start printing. Start printing.
Boom! Printers, start printing. Oh wait, that's
That's
right.
like
They're
what?
not. They're not.
Right. You're
Yeah.
in control of that.
Yeah. No. Not. Nope. They could be.
Next time.
They actually, if we connected the Raspberry Pi to like Google Home, I could tell it to run certain prints, but
That'd be kind of cool.
would be kind of cool. It's like I can yell at the Google Home to turn off my recording lights, but we're not gonna do that. But yeah, I look, we want your support, guys and gals, mostly gals actually, which is kind of cool. 85%
Let's go!
female audience. Well,
Isn't
let's
it still-
see how
it's
long
still,
that lasts. That's pretty cool.
Well, it's still Women's History Month, is it not? Yeah, right?
though. Is it? I think it is.
I think it is.
F it if it's
might
not.
be. I don't know.
It is now.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. It's also great to see all the women in the maker community, because that's
Yeah.
super awesome. If
It
you're
is.
looking for some amazing lady makers for inspiration and you are a lady maker yourself, Geeky Faye Art is a wonderful maker that we've done stuff with in the past. And also please check out Billy Rubin.
Yep.
Both
We're
of
gonna
them
link
are
to
like,
them in the description.
there's also some others, Grant. I think there's one more that I'm forgetting that we've...
There's Naomi Wu. Naomi Wu's kind of,
Of
one
course,
of the bigger
yeah, Naomi Wu.
female
She's
makers
huge.
out there. She goes by the Real Sexy Cyborg. You'll find out why.
Yeah.
Who else are some big...
There's another one that I am just totally spacing on right now, and she's so great.
Talk to me. What do they do? What do they do? Let's...
Metal, right?
Oh, SJ in Canal.
SJ.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, which
so-
you guys don't know yet, we're mentoring her, which is going to be really,
cool.
really cool. It's
Well-
more of a personal thing, but I'm excited for it.
I'm just gonna say this, and someone will do it probably, but all of them, since why not? Because we've got so many lady makers or people who are interested in this stuff watching the channel now. Those are all great lady makers to follow, so they'll be below. Please go show them some love and support too, because we probably wouldn't be here without them.
It's
because
true.
they're amazing.
We do need more lady makers, and as fun as it is to interview like the Joe Pruses of the world, and hey Joe, hit us up.
Still want that, yeah.
One day.
We want to highlight makers across all races, all sexes, no races and no sexes. We are this is a non-binary thing that we do here on the Making Awesome podcast.
A non-binary open relationship with cold hard cash.
Yeah. Should I change
Yeah.
my Facebook status to be in an open relationship with money?
I don't see how that could possibly go wrong.
I can't see how that would possibly go wrong with the girlfriend that you have who can for 15 minutes break somebody's ribs. I will let that be your problem, though. So
It's true, and I got a
We have
bad
to
back,
3D
so she don't even have
I'll
to
send
do
a
that.
get well soon card. I mean,
if we have to 3D
Don't
print
make it on a
ribs,
Cricut, though. If you make it on a Cricut,
Oh.
you're fired.
yeah, no, we could 3D print you some
print
ribs.
some new ribs for Grant. Would be a
Wait,
great
I
video.
want vertebrae first and like discs. That's what I want first. I don't
Honestly,
want...
all I
One
want
day.
for the end of the, like, by the time that 3DM is all grown and has this big history behind it, I want Grant to be more plastic than human. I want him to be just all, you know what? No, 3D printing is more than plastic. I want Grant to just be more layer lines than human being. That's what I want.
So you want me to go to jail so I have the black and white stripes?
No, because it'll be your body. See
My
what I'm saying
body.
here, Grant?
Well, that's gonna be
every
weird.
part in you except your brain. I want to be 3D printed.
I'll take a 3D printed brain if it's smarter than the one I have now. You know, honestly,
Oh,
if it's
not
dumber than
yet.
the one I have now, I think I'd still take it.
Yep.
I mean,
Game
whether-
on.
It that's a news story. That's a maker's update. That'd be a pretty dope maker's update. But, you know, assuming I'm conscious enough to talk about it. But, yeah, I mean, realistically, we did not expect this kind of growth. And it's kind of both amazing and frightening at the same time. And we can just really use your support. Please let us know any videos that you want to see coming from our channel. If you are on the main channel, you're going to see a supercut of this. So hopefully this gets included. So, hi, editors. You guys should include this stuff in there. Appreciate that. And that way, people that are watching us can see that we do both want and need their help. Right? We want to create content that they want to see. And if it's not the podcast, let us know. That's totally what we're here for. So, anyways, anything else before we wrap this up? No? Tom's good. Pete, you good?
Send
All
it.
right, let's send it. All right, as always, everyone, don't forget to call your loved ones. Keep making awesome. This was chapter 28 of the Making Awesome podcast, Cricut post-mortem, and like 2 maker pitfalls. We'll probably just call it the Cricut post-mortem, but if you watch it on YouTube, you'll see that we actually had the wrong title. Take care. Have a good one.
Bye.